What I needed was not a new weapon, but a new animal.
A new animal?
Exactly so.
You found one?
Yes. Here on my island, I hunt the most dangerous game.
Most dangerous game?
Most dangerous game? What could it be?
The game I am hunting is all of you.
We are going to hunt you cricket.
What happens if I get caught?
Ooh, don't get caught. Don't get caught. Well, there he goes.
Hunt men? You raving maniac.
Well, conventional wisdom says good fleeing will always beat good chasing. But the stats say put your money on the guy with the gun.
And the hunt begins.
Indeed. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to The Most Dangerous Podcast, a show about different incarnations about the most dangerous game and, different interpretations. Did I already say that? I am Travis Fishburne.
I'm Alex Brunel.
I'm Dustin Meadows.
All right. And with all that being said, this week we're coming back and we start fresh reboot with a true modern classic with the most dangerous game from 2022.
It is modern.
Yeah, directed by Sir Justin Lee.
Oh my god. this freaking guy.
Yeah. So I recommended that we start with this, and I God bless me, I don't know why.
May I do a little bit of a recap of anybody who may be for some reason listening to season 3 episode 1 of this show?
Yeah.
So the most dangerous game, we're talking about this short story written by Richard Connell in 1924, also published as The Hounds of Zaroff, which has been the basis for adaptations of every genre throughout basically every medium there is. Everyone knows probably The Pest. I feel like, I don't know why I think that's the most well-known representation, but maybe that's just because the first, but we covered that. We've covered so many cool movies in the past. This is not one of them.
No.
Trav, I appreciate the idea of like coming back in season 3 and starting with an adaptation that in ways hews closer to the actual source material than everything else that just kind of takes the broad concept and does what it does. I liked that idea until the movie started happening.
Yeah, it's got a decent poster.
It's got an okay poster.
Yeah, I'll throw it up right now. There it is.
Great.
This is the movie we're covering.
There it is.
The title is there. Some characters are there. It is definitely technically a movie poster.
It exists.
Like once you're told that's Casper Van Dien, you can kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
I just struggle to figure out that was Tom Berenger. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't seen Tom Berenger in this stage of life, but
You've definitely not been watching a lot of direct-to-video action movies over the last 15 years then.
No, I have not. Okay, good.
No.
Good note for Alex Brunel. Thank you.
Yeah. No, the mustache and the white hair is definitely
That's the look now.
That's the stuff.
throws it off a bit for sure. But yeah,
Okay.
I think that's kind of how he looks.
And then we have our lead.
We have Mr.
This
Chris
fucking guy.
C.T. Tamburello. And I mean, okay, we're going to have to go through because I was very confused. I actually thought this guy, I was confusing him because I thought he looked so similar to like Joshua Jackson from Dawson's Creek. I'm like, is that who this is?
He looks like if someone like did this to Joshua Jackson.
Yeah.
A little
If
bit.
Joshua Jackson got cauliflower ear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was surprised to find out that this dude wasn't like a UFC fighter or something.
Did you guys both figure out what he is?
He was in what? Road Rules, Real World, something
Real
like
World.
that. Yeah.
He was in
Real World
Real
season
World
23.
And then he was
Yeah.
also really well known for being in something called The Challenge.
That's what evolved out of Real World versus Road Rules.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
I think was
that's-
probably part of your generation of watching MTV also. Yeah, that's what that evolved into, is the challenge. I don't know what the fuck it is, but
it seems like that threw me, because usually the mixed martial artist to action star pipeline, like that's a thing that exists.
Right.
Like it would not surprise me to find out this is like a former UFC dude, like the way guys like Randy Couture or like a bunch of WWE guys have gone on to do like straight to video action schlock.
Right.
It was like, oh, this guy was just on an MTV reality show, and for some reason we're like, what if we made him the lead of a movie?
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, agents do wild shit, but yeah.
Because I want to read something. I was so confused while I was watching the movie. I looked up some IMDb reviews, and one was OCT. No! OCT, I love you. I have waited for this movie as I am a long fan of Surviving the Game. I expected so much. And for God's sake, you have Judd Nelson, Bruce Dern, and Tom Berenger. This movie should have been amazing. Again, CT, I adore you. It goes into like loving CT so many times in this. And I'm like, who the fuck is CT?
that's also, as someone who doesn't think that Tom Berenger is bad by any stretch, like, I'm never like, ooh, Tom Berenger's in this.
Right.
I'm not even like that about Judd Nelson, who arguably is probably one of the more likable, like, well-known stars of this whole thing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching Judd and Berenger do their things. I really enjoyed watching them just do what they were doing. I don't, it's all bad. But I liked watching them in that mode.
But I think they're easily probably the best part of it, though, too.
Absolutely. Like, Judd was... Okay, so I don't think we need to... Do we want to talk about this scene by scene? I don't know.
No, don't.
But the opening, right? Like, we open up with this crappy opening title montage.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the worst. It feels like Sci-Fi Channel original movies. So I'm like, okay, this might be fun. And then we get into just community theater.
Yeah.
For like 6 minutes.
Not
and
before
the whole movie just
real
does that.
Quick flashback to World War II, apparently.
Oh my God.
It took me a while. I'm like, he looks like he's in World War II, and then keeps talking about the war. I'm like, so this takes place in the 40s or 50s?
Right. That was the other thing.
But it's never addressed.
That's the thing too. With him, like, it seemed like more modern, the war that he was supposed to be set in.
Right.
Like, because I was confused, because like when Casper Van Dien comes in, he's talking about like the Nazis and like the camps and stuff. I was like, wait, this dude was in World War II and not like fighting in Bosnia or something? Because that's fully the vibe of those war scenes that I got.
Yeah, I was having a very hard time discerning which war it was, because I was assuming, because of the way the ship was and the way they were and all this stuff, I was assuming that like it was 1924, like the 1920s. I thought it was the time period of the original story. And I don't know when World War I was, but was it
1918 to 19 something, I believe.
Okay, so that'd be in that range. It'd be, they could be having World War I flashbacks reasonably, right? And then mid 1920s.
Yeah, but even then, like, it didn't feel like that either.
No, but like that's what it took me a while. I'm like, oh wait, so he's German, so he's definitely going to be a Nazi. So this has to be World War II flashbacks. And they kept happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't really do anything. Like, they don't really bring anything to the table at all.
Absolutely nothing.
They do set up something that doesn't get paid off. They talk about him being like a really awesome sniper and how he could like take out a guy from 100 yards or something.
I didn't remember that.
And I'm like, oh, this is gonna come into play, and it doesn't.
It kind of does a little bit, like with that scene where they're in the clearing right before he confronts him at the end, but like you never see it from his perspective. So like,
right.
Yeah.
There's never any of that. And that's not the only like setup and payoff that the movie just like didn't bother with. The other one, like, is it Berenger has all these grenades. He's like, I don't know what to do with these, which is absurd.
Yeah. There's one thing to do with them.
Right.
He figured it out.
And then Soldier Boy, as he's become affectionately known, suggests, oh, you could rig him with a tripwire. Oh, that never occurred to me. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
a
great
soldier
idea.
who has survived for months, we have to presume at least, probably.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then ultimately, he just pulls the pin and hugs the bad guy and blows himself up with the grenade.
Yeah.
Just
So-
one of the bad guys. The bad guy's
Right.
lackey.
Right. Just Ivan.
Oh yeah, the loyal hound that Casper Van Dien then literally says that part out loud. There's so much of the dialogue is just them saying the subtext of scenes.
It's so bad.
It's
It's
like,
so deeply bad.
yeah, there's way too much talking in this movie. It's like you don't need to spell out the themes of the general story.
Well, they
Like,
had to fill out the time, otherwise they just get to. I mean, they would have
The movie's
mercifully ended.
95 minutes.
Yeah, and
It
probably
would have been
what
85 easily.
probably at least 8 minutes of that is war flashbacks that don't really serve
Yeah.
much purpose.
Mhm.
There's so many scenes that are just people talking unnecessarily, then cross dissolve to later in the day, and then those same people are just talking more for several
Yep.
more minutes.
In the same
And-
like monotone.
Yeah, it's all very community theater, all of it. And
Yeah.
like I've in my slog days of working as a camera assistant, I did a lot of like sub lifetime garbage, like a lot of low level garbage, like asylum adjacent stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And I've quickly learned that the way to cheaply make a feature film with basically no money is what I came to call people talking in rooms.
Yep. That's
Which
the
is-
asylum model.
That's it. You have a couple key sequences and you try to, have the splash where you can pay for it. But by and large, it is just people standing or sitting in places and talking to each other. And it is unbelievable to me that someone made a people talking in rooms adaptation of The Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah.
Even
like-
so, you can take a people talking in rooms and actually make it interesting via
Totally.
the acting and the writing and
Absolutely.
the way it's shot and edited. But this defies
like,
all of those.
Even the blocking feels lazy, and that's something that
my
rarely
God.
sticks out to me in a movie.
I am not a lighting person. I know what doesn't look good, but I don't know how to adjust that to make it look good.
Same.
But I am a 1,000,000%. I would bet you $1 million I could light that movie better than whoever lit this goddamn movie.
Yeah, it just looks so flat and boring.
Everything is awful.
Which sucks is like there's some like the trophy room didn't seem like a bad set. And
Oh my
like
God.
even Tom Berenger's cabin, I was like, oh, this is kind of a cool location, and then they don't really do anything interesting with them.
No. The trophy room. Oh my God, dude. I didn't think that this movie could get lower rent at this point. But then he shows off his collection of the human trophies, and it's just like a shallow shelf with like 6 skulls. Angela says there's only 4 skulls. I seem to remember more than 4, but like 4 to 6 skulls that are just sitting there. No placards, no nothing, just kind of placed. That's the trophy shelf of
Hey,
the human hunt. Like,
Check out
oh
all
my
these
God.
skulls we got at Spirit Halloween this morning.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, we don't even get heads in jars. Like, come on.
No heads in jars, no giant elephant head on the wall.
But-
Right. The taxidermy is sitting on the table because that's weird. And then
That does
comment
have
on
my
it, and-
favorite line in the movie, and it's Judd Nelson saying,
This is a beautiful moose.
I was still trying to give the movie a chance at this point, so I wasn't totally keyed into dialogue like that yet.
Yeah. That is a great line. You know what would have
That's
been
amazing.
interesting? Seeing Casper Van Dien fighting a moose.
ooh.
That would have been
This is a
great.
beautiful moose.
Like, there are so many more interesting scenes that they talk about happening than like we actually get to see play out.
Oh my God, can we talk about Casper Van Dien in this movie?
Oh, and his inconsistent all over the goddamn place Colonel Clink accent.
Oh
No,
my
it's
God.
impeccable.
Like, it sounds like him making fun of Germans the way that I make fun of Italians. Like,
Yeah. Oh my God. And it's in such a high register.
yeah, it's like he sounds like he's always like kind of surprised by everything. It's like, oh, you're out here in my forest. It's like
That was a much better
yeah.
German accent than anything he said in the movie.
Can we ADR the movie so you can
Oh,
just
that'd be
like
great.
dub Casper
will-
in this movie?
I will. I might even just fucking do my own cut. I already sat through it once. I can ADR.
Do it.
Oh man. And you know what? Cut the fat too while you're at it. You'll probably wind up with only like 50 minutes of movie to ADR.
There's no reason this movie should be more than 45 minutes.
No,
No.
absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Like there's so much filler. Like it would be excusable if it was at least like badly done action sequences, but like there's only a few action sequences and they suck so bad.
Yes.
Like they're so boring and uninspired to watch. It's like, oh, he's doing a trap. This will be cool. It's like, oh no, it kind of grazed him and now he's shooting at the main guy laying on the forest floor. This is not exciting to watch. This
Yeah.
is so boring. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's the CTE or whatever his name is taking shots from a ridge where we can't see what's going on. Like none of this is cinematic. None of this is
No.
fun to watch.
No. I can't really imagine that this movie cost more than like $300,000 to make.
I would be shocked. Yeah. Like, and I was reading a little bit about it. It said like they shot it on whatever studio's backlot this was for the majority of it, like in the Pacific Northwest. So they probably shot a little bit on location for like the forest stuff.
Where did you read this?
It was on the wiki.
Oh,
Like
okay.
there's not a lot on there, but for some reason there's a few details about like where they actually shot this thing and
Okay.
the studio that bankrolled it and everything, and they're set in the Pacific Northwest apparently.
Interesting. Oh yeah, K-Nink Pictures backlot.
Wait,
I'm still baffled.
Yeah, has Justin Lee, is that a director that's done other stuff?
I mean, yes, but like, you know, Final Kill, Maneater, which is about a shark. You know, it's all this.
This
Any
kind of
bullet will
stuff.
do.
Okay.
Yeah, he you know, he's got like between 2 and 4 feature directing credits per year since 2018. This is just what he does.
Yeah, I thought I recognized the name for a minute, and I was like, oh no, I'm thinking of Justin Lin of the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
I would have loved to have seen Justin Lin's Most Dangerous Game.
I support
That'd be an
it.
amazing movie.
It'd be great.
The thing is about the thing that's so hard to deal with about this movie is because like I haven't worked for Justin Lee, but I worked with one person that I guarantee is in the Justin Lee hemisphere of low budget director types. And I'm not saying that Justin Lee is any of these things, but I'm imagining that he's in the type of circle where it's like they don't give a shit about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like
it's just
this
a
is the
paycheck.
job. They know this is 12 days. They know a way to get it done and make the most money they can, like squeeze the most blood from the stone for themselves as they can. They know how to do this, and this is just what they do. They're not happy people. They're not nice people. I'm not saying any of this applies to Justin Lee, but in my imagination. And it shows in the movie. There's no fun in this movie.
No.
Because I've watched movies far worse than this that I've loved so much more just because someone is actually trying or there's some interesting idea that just doesn't get off the ground. You guys both know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
none of
No,
that.
you can have fun watching. Yeah.
I just rewatched Judge Dredd last month. Is it
Yeah.
a good movie? Not even remotely. But clearly, care and effort was put into it. Like
Right.
you can tell just from like a production standpoint alone.
The production
like,
design's amazing.
yeah, the production design is hands down the best part of that movie. Like somebody clearly cared enough to like, oh, we're gonna make these amazing costumes. We're gonna make this amazing like future dystopia like mega city, and like this is just like, yeah, we'll just go shoot it out in the woods behind the back lot, and we'll have 6 skulls on our man-killing hunter's shelf. Like, fuck out of here.
In his weird jungle bunker with concrete walls in one room.
Yeah, it. God, this movie sucks. Like, in case anyone listening hadn't picked that up yet, where we landed vis-a-vis our general take on the film overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really bad. Just the acting, all of it. I want to play a little clip
Great.
of our boy CT trying to help his father, Judd Nelson, as he's dying. This is some, I love it.
Father, Father.
I was just like,
Wow.
that was one of those times where I was having a good time watching it, and I was laughing.
That just sounded like someone was rolling on a rehearsal.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely did.
Father, Father.
He sounds a little bit like Kyle MacLachlan in Lynch's Dune. Father! Little bit. Not as great. Do you guys remember when he was when he met with the two other like prey married?
Yeah.
Oh
women?
yeah. The brother, was it a brother and sister? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they kind of learn of each other's mutual plights, and he's just like casually hooking his thumbs in his suspenders for the whole time.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
and then as they stroll through the forest to like find some safety, he's just still, this is where my thumbs go.
Yep.
Yep. Just shucks in it.
Oh, but that was another thing, was Casper Van Dien at the end of the conversation where he kills his father and stuff, and he's like, now I'm going to hunt you. Put this on. And then they cut to the next scene, and I'm like, he wanted him to put on like this weird suspender, like, get up. This is what
Yeah.
he puts his people in to hunt.
Yeah, he's well equipped to survive 3 days. Oh God. I'm just like, I made notes. Like
Yeah.
I was paying too much attention to this movie, you guys.
Way more
I was
attention
paying
than
attention,
anybody
but
who made it.
Every note that came back was just, this is bad. It's still bad.
Yeah.
Okay, it's continuing to be bad. There's Tom Berenger. It's
Oh.
still bad.
Yeah, because even then, like Tom Berenger, the acting is just so, like everyone's just reading lines. Like they're just going through the motions, and things are said that I'm like, should have some kind of an inflection there, but okay, you just keep going.
Yeah. Like I think out of it, like I think Casper Van Dien's actually trying.
That's the thing, is
He's
as
trying, I
awful
think.
as it is,
Yeah,
he's the one
he's
putting
definitely
in the
trying.
most ham.
But then after
Performance- Sorry.
but then after that, I think probably Bruce Dern is the other person, like actually, 'cause, like you at least feel like he's present for that opening
Mhm.
scene that
Absolutely.
he's in.
He's far too present.
Yeah. I was like, oh, you're taking this seriously, unlike almost everyone else in this scene.
You seem like
Yeah.
you were excited to be on the set that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made the note that so who's our CT?
Yeah,
His voice sounds like he's an Australian trying to do an American accent, but he's from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
What the fuck is he doing? He's so bad. Like we talked about like why it's weird this guy's in the movie. We didn't talk about the fact that he's fucking terrible in this movie.
Oh, he's abysmal. He's easily the worst part.
Yeah. Like
In a
holy
movie
fuck.
full of worst parts.
Yeah. Oh man, there is this scene where it's him and it's the girl by a fire. He's making a fire out in the woods, and the camera operator is definitely an amateur Ronin operator who's just like aimlessly drifting like in and out
Ooh.
for the whole top part of the scene before he eventually settles. It's like
Maybe fell asleep.
it's terrifying camera work. It's like really astounding.
Yeah, there's like little purpose or intention with like any of the camera work in here.
Yeah.
Like, and then they're like, that's the other thing too, is like during a few of those action sequences, they do a few of those things where it seems like what they're shooting at like a lower or a higher shutter speed, whichever it is, and just kind of looks a
Yeah.
little choppy.
Yeah.
Like it just looks bad.
Yep. Does not work. None of it works.
Yeah,
None
like,
of this movie works.
No, it's all bad. And then, like literally the first scene that they have after the wreck, when like they're just standing on the hill talking, all I could
Yeah.
think of was all of the scenes like that from Lost, where they're just out
Yeah.
in an open hill just talking.
But at least that looked good.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looked good. That had good acting. It was edited well. It had an awesome Giacchino score under it.
Yeah.
I've never seen a movie where the main character just like does some self-reflection while looking at the horizon so often.
Yeah. Oh,
He does
yeah,
that 3 times.
Yeah, and there's like, does he have PTSD? Like, what is the purpose of the warship? Like, it
To
seems
remind
like,
us that he was a badass?
and he's not. He sucks.
No,
He sucks.
he sucks.
He fucking sucks out loud. Like, yeah, it's like, okay, he built a trap, but then like it didn't even work really, and then like the few actual fight scenes he has like are just bad.
Yeah.
Like, they're
No, there's one the hand-to-hand combat scene between CT and Ivan in the cabin.
Mhm.
There's a punch that CT throws that Ivan catches, but you see CT like slow down and like meet his open hand. It's one of the worst stunt punches I've ever seen in a movie.
more of that theater stuff.
Yeah. It's oh god. It's so bad. Oh right. I should put this, I want to put this on the record on the air. I got married since we were last on the air, and Angela is now my wife, so I get to say, Travis, my wife is really mad at you for making us watch this movie. She was so mad every time the war flash. She was like screaming at the TV every time it cut to another war flashback.
I'm mad at myself.
This is the first one since I got married too. I got married, everybody.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at
There
all
you
of
go.
us.
We're 3 married dudes just
Yeah.
doing a podcast.
Yep. My wife did not have to sit through the movie, so she doesn't have anything to curse, and I'm sure she's definitely
good
thankful
for her.
it. Yeah, she'll get to know a life free of this awful fucking movie, because unless I go back and overdub Casper Van Dien's line, I'm never watching it again.
You're gonna dub over Casper Van Dien telling Ivan to go?
Go!
What if I go back and overdub everyone's lines?
Oh, I would
Far
watch
more
that.
entertaining.
Are you gonna redub them with? Are you gonna like "What's up, Tiger Lily" or like Kung Pao the thing? Or are you gonna redub the dialogue?
Kung Pao.
Oh, you know what? No, that won't work. The footage itself is not interesting enough for you.
Yeah,
to
that's very
for that
true.
to work at all.
What if we like CGI in some explosions and shit?
Oh yeah, if you like James Nguyen like Birdemic CG the shit out of it, then yes,
Yeah,
that is.
I got After Effects. I can throw some goofy shit in.
Yeah,
there.
and
There
then
you
we
go.
can, we can have like a little
Keyframes.
silhouette of the three of us in a theater, like pointing up and making comments as well throughout.
There you
We
go.
can do it.
I'll throw some footage from our various college films in the background.
Oh, good God.
Like,
yes.
Oh, hey, look, Casper Van Dien's hunting Hawk Berenger now.
I would watch the shit out of that movie.
I'm just saying, I think we could make a pretty decent Most Dangerous Game movie.
I agree. Oh man, I would love a sequel to Death Deal that was Most Dangerous Game. That'd be amazing.
Oh yeah. Now that I actually got a MIDI controller, I can score all carpentry and shit too.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
All
Now
right.
I won't have to
Let's
lie
do
and say
that.
original score by John Carpenter like I did. Death
Original
Deal.
score by our close personal friend Jonathan Carpenter.
I could still get him to do it. Hey John, put down the Xbox controller and just score this. You did it for those Halloween movies.
But he'll do it for money.
Yeah.
That man has made
Yeah,
it
that man
very
works
clear
for
that
money.
he is not above a paycheck.
That man works for money. That is true. His most recent album was really good. Lost Themes 3.
Yes, and his new one actually is dropping this Friday.
Oh, sick.
The noir one. I'm very excited for that.
Ooh.
My copy is currently en route to my apartment.
Very good. I'm going to take a leave of you for a moment, gentlemen, and I'll be right back.
All
Okay.
right.
Cool.
Give us a moment to reflect on 2022's Sir Justin Lee's Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah. So, I mean, while Alex is gone, I'm going to, another review that I found.
Oh, yes.
on
Yeah, read some of
IMDb.
these.
I mean, they are all terrible reviews, saying it's awful. I found one single positive review, which I will now read.
How many stars?
10. 10 out of 10.
All right,
Which,
all
yeah,
right.
I'll go. It's
There's no way this isn't CT himself, but go on.
It probably was. This is from user Raymond Marble. And the title of this review is New and Refreshing Ideas. With the most dangerous game, writer-director Justin Lee has proven that originality is not dead in modern filmmaking. Casper Van Dien's flawless German accent and C.T. Tamburello's natural charisma draw the audience into a non-stop thrill ride through the darkest heart of man. Watch for cameos by Bruce Dern as the Crypt Keeper, Tom Berenger as a time-traveling Vietnam War veteran, and Judd Nelson as a confused Judd Nelson. 5 bags of popcorn.
That is absolutely a troll review.
It is.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Now hearing it said, that's also like Tom Berenger, very much out of time in that movie.
Yeah. It's weird. I've never actually looked at the breakdown of IMDb ratings before this movie, but looking at it, 10% of the reviews are 10 out of 10. 21% of the reviews are 1 out of 10. And, it's everywhere in between.
That's this movie?
Yeah, this is a movie.
10% of a 10 out of 10 seems high.
It absolutely is. It's a
60
weird
people,
stat. To look
60 people used their time and energy to make their mark on the internet saying that this is a 10 out of 10 film.
Yeah.
The
all
movie
10,
that I forgot to log on my letterbox to count.
60 people who worked on this movie.
So bad.
I'm usually pretty good about it, but like I watched This Is the End yesterday afternoon as a palate cleanser, and then I watched the short that it was based on. Logged both of those, went to make dinner, and I was like, oh right, I did watch another movie today, and I didn't log it at all, which rarely it's rare that I completely forget I watched the movie.
I have a running list. I'm like 2 months behind on like doing Letterboxd, but I have thoughts I want to mark down about all of them because I'm that way now.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that's fair.
Just have a running notes document of stuff I got to do. I have been watching a lot of movies though.
Yeah.
Good. Same. It's slowed down a little the last few weeks since we started Dexter, but I'm sitting around like 200 so far this year. So
nice.
And that's not counting like just scare me shorts that I've seen at the screenings and stuff.
Yeah. Dudes, the night before Most Dangerous Game, this doesn't have anything to do with this podcast, but whatever. We're under time because this movie isn't worth talking about.
Correct.
The night before, Angela and I watched both for the first time Time Cop, which I was let down by, you guys. There was too much cop and not enough time.
Oh.
Yeah, that definitely kind of goes out the window first half.
I wanted more shenanigans.
Yeah.
The action was good.
Yeah, the action's solid.
I like all the action stuff. Van Damme is as good as Van Damme ever really gets in that part of his career.
Yep.
But I wanted more shenanigans.
That's fair. It's definitely, I think it's probably my favorite after Hard Target, but I fully agree the sci-fi element like kind of gets ditched about halfway through the movie.
Yeah. And that's just really unfortunate because I mean, like, Time Cop isn't awesome. I like
the concept's
basically
great.
In my head, I'm like, okay, is it like kind of like Minority Report, but with Jean-Claude Van Damme in 1994? Like, that's kind of what I was hoping for. Yeah, like that plus, you know, like Minority Report with time travel abilities, but Van Damme in 1994.
Yeah. Well, that opening scene where like he goes back to the 20s and like arrest that dude for like gaming the stock market. Like that was like, this movie should just be nothing but scenes like this.
Totally.
And then that's really kind of one of the only scenes like that we get.
Yeah. That was a big bummer.
It's disappointing.
The cast wasn't even that great aside from Van Damme.
Yeah, I honestly, like, gun to my head, I can't even tell you anyone else in the cast besides him. And I usually am pretty good with that kind of stuff.
You usually are better than me. We're all usually pretty good about that. Oh yeah, it's friggin' forgettably somehow Mia Sara, Ron Silver, and Bruce McGill.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And it's a
Oh yeah, the Crow
yeah, and
City of
Ken-
Angels, Mia Sarah.
yeah, and no, that's Mia Kirshner. Mia Sarah
Oh,
is
yes,
Ferris
you're right.
Bueller's girlfriend, and
Mm.
of Legends Mia Sarah,
Yes, you're right.
and
I was wrong.
the unaired pilot Heat Vision and Jax, Ron Silver.
Ah,
Um,
and it's a,
That's like a
Peter
famous unaired
Hyams
pilot.
movie, and it's a Peter Hyams movie, and he usually
Yeah.
makes memorable things.
that's End of Days guy too. Yeah, Peter Hyams.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, but he's had a long career.
He's had a long career that's a bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah, he
It's
did.
all
He
over
made
the map.
2010. He made the
He made
sequel to
2010.
2001.
Yep.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Capricorn one.
He made Stay Tuned
You did Stay
Oh!
Tuned, yeah. Mhm.
That's insane.
and The Relic. What else? Running Scared, Sudden
Mhm.
Death.
Oh, Sudden Death
The
of Van Damme.
Musketeer he did, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Outland. He's
The Musketeer. He did a bunch of, like, Michael Douglas did like at least 2, maybe 3 movies. It's funny that his like repeat stars are like Van Damme and Michael Douglas.
Interesting.
Sean Connery too.
Yeah.
Outland and the
He did,
Presidio.
remember that movie The Musketeer from
Yeah.
01?
I remember.
That was him.
Oh God. Yeah, is Tim Roth in that one? Am I making that up? I feel like Tim Roth was in that.
He is, yes.
Okay, because I get that confused because I know Paul W.S. Anderson also did a Three Musketeers movie like a decade later
Yeah.
that I only know exists because Ray Stevenson's in it, and I love Ray Stevenson.
Mm. Oh, Travis, how's Running Scared? Letterbox tells me you've seen Running Scared.
Oh, his running. What? Yes.
Yeah, with Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal.
Yeah. No,
And
it's
Joey
it's
Pants.
fun. It's a good one. It's
Yeah?
Yeah, Joey Pants is really good in it. It's a fun movie. It's
Great.
yeah.
Joey Pants
Crazy
always shows up to
that
work.
he directed this.
Added
too.
to the
He's
watch
just
list.
Such a crazy. Yeah. No, yeah, I definitely recommend that one.
Nice.
All
On a
right.
Time Cop related note, there is a Time
Yeah.
Cop sequel that I've never seen that stars Jason Scott Lee as the main character.
Wonder if it's worth watching.
I can't imagine it is, but I'm also curious. And as someone who's definitely already sat through more Hellraiser movies than I ever thought I would and has more to get through,
right.
there's
Fair
not much
enough.
I'm above watching.
I'm gonna let you
I'll-
guys vamp for a minute while I go and grab a charger for my computer before it dies.
That makes
Very
sense.
good.
Well, while we're on non-tangentials, I'm going to take this opportunity to highly recommend Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College.
Oh man, I gotta get on the Ghoulies series this October. I've never seen the whole thing.
I haven't seen the fourth one yet. That one
I've never seen any Ghoulies actually, but yeah.
They're all very enjoyable. I think they get better with each one because each one the Ghoulies get more screen time.
Actually, wait. I think we maybe have watched the first one this past October, and I've already mostly forgotten it because it wasn't very ghoulie heavy, right?
No, they're barely in it, and they don't really show up consistently until like the third act.
Oh
'Cause,
yeah,
yeah,
I totally watched this.
Yeah. The first one, like I still enjoy it, but it's very much it feels like they kind of tricked you with the marketing for it.
Yeah.
It's like they're barely to the point where like they literally reshot the toilet scene
Right.
with like the
It's
ghoulie
like
popping out after. So
Like the
it's
snakes
like,
on the plane thing.
yeah. Ghoulies 2 is actually a lot of fun because that one's at a carnival. And then Ghoulies 3, of course, is at a college, and the Ghoulies talk in the third one.
Nice.
And the cat ghoulie is voiced by none other than Richard Kind.
That sounds great.
And you got Kevin McCarthy playing the crusty old dean, which is also solid.
I love that.
And
Kevin McCarthy is the crusty old dean. That sounds amazing.
fantastic. And Matthew Lillard's first on-screen appearance.
Oh heck, that sounds great to me.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
you want-
I highly recommend it.
Can I tell you guys a quick Matthew Lillard story? Another Alex
Yes.
Brunel lame claim to fame story.
Oh,
Yes, please.
I worked
Shaggy.
on this pilot for HBO at the end of 2022, and one day Matthew Lillard played a small role in like half the day's work, and I had no idea this was happening until I saw the call sheet the night before. I became very excited. There was one moment where I felt appropriate enough and whatever. I just said, Excuse me, Mr. Lillard. My name's Alex. I just wanted to tell you I'm a big fan of your work, and I thought you were like amazing in Twin Peaks. And he was like, oh, thank you very much, blah blah. That, you know, just nice, but kind of jokingly. No, he wasn't actually douchey, but like jokingly, you know, abrasive a little bit. So it was funny, and we shook hands. He walks a few more steps, and then turns to another crew member. Is like, "Hi, I'm Matthew. What did you like me in?"
That's amazing.
So funny dude, and he was great to watch. He's like actually like really awesome to watch. Work his way into a scene. It was really cool.
I mean, outside of the Uwe Boll Dungeon Siege movie, I've never seen him in anything where I didn't enjoy him. And Dungeon Siege,
enjoy that movie.
Dungeon Siege had nothing to do with him. It was an Uwe Boll movie, so it was already doomed from the start.
There was a time in my life where I really, really wanted to devote time to doing some kind of an academic study of the entirety of Uwe Boll's output. Like start to like deep watch every movie multiple times. Like try to figure out how a person that is, when you hear him talk, obviously so smart, like obviously like really good high functioning brain, total maniac and asshole, but like, you know, really intelligent. How can he be making shit this bad? What is that? You know, there's like a study. There's an academic study there, because not all of them are bad. There's a couple that are like really effective. 1968 Tunnel Rats is actually fucking terrifying. It's not like really that good, but it's really anxiety inducing. Stoic, where Edward Furlong gets to improvise with two other guys who none of them can improvise, is the only movie I've ever turned off after 20 minutes of watching it.
Oh, wow.
The only movie. But as I watched more of his films, I realized that would require me watching more of his films, and I gave up on this idea.
As someone who's seen, I think, 3 or 4, I would be hard-pressed to do this. Now, if somebody wants to sponsor us to do this, I'll do an Uwe Boll podcast.
Oh, baby. Somebody has to have done that.
Yeah, probably. But if not, we'll whore ourselves out, people with money.
Yeah.
You ever see the director's cut he did of House of the Dead?
No.
Where he edits in outtakes and makes it, and like does commentary on parts of the movie and re-edits it to just poke fun at how actually terrible it is.
That's insane.
It's mania. It's madness.
That's awesome.
Like that one was already hard enough to get with like the video game footage spliced in throughout.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called the director's cut / funny version.
Oh my.
It's not.
No.
But it is different.
The disrespect done to Jurgen Prochnow.
Seriously though.
All right. Well,
anyway, should we wrap this up?
Well, no, we can't wrap it up yet because we forgot about one special thing that this movie has.
Does it have contractions?
Yeah.
And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
So we have one single contraction.
Oh my god.
I'm sending you guys the image right now. And that is Mr. Kevin Porter, who played what's his name that he played? The big beefy guy, the mute.
Ivan
the Terrible.
That makes
wow.
And
the dodgeball dude.
He is most known for playing Laser in Dodgeball. Another mute lackey.
Yeah, if I had to guess, he probably would have been shortlist for the part.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about typecasting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was just very briefly seen in an episode of Enterprise, one that I would have recently watched because I started going through Enterprise, and it's a lot better than I expected. But
really?
Yeah, it is. It's got a really good first season, and it's hokey, and I don't know, it's way more enjoyable than a lot of the other stuff. But
is Enterprise the Bacula one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. with like the radically different tone and production design, as I recall. Also,
It
Yeah,
is.
I think I caught parts of a few episodes of that when it originally aired. I was like, I haven't watched any of the good Star Trek shows. What am I doing?
No, yeah, it was. I was very apprehensive because I'm like, I don't like the way that the costumes look or anything, and
Yeah.
you know what? Like it's really silly, and I like when Trek is silly because they do not get silly enough anymore. But
It's fair.
I think I watched. There's episodes where there's next gen characters in it. No,
in
or is there like a
Enterprise,
two-parter? Did like Frakes direct something? I don't know. I
Frakes
think I
definitely,
watched
like-
maybe between 2 and 4 episodes of that show because either Frakes directed it or there was like some.
yeah,
I
I
don't
guarantee
think it was
Frakes and
Mirror,
LeVar
but-
Burton directed a few episodes of them, but
Okay.
What if we did a most dangerous game with all Star Trek cast members?
could happen. I was telling Alex, what next time we go to TV, there's a DS9 episode that we'll be covering.
Oh
That
no,
would be
no, no!
great.
But I mean like just
No.
a straight adaptation.
I hear you.
I'm just saying, Jonathan Frakes would be a great Zarov.
I would love if it could have been, if you could have, instead of making, I think actually Insurrection is a good movie, but I think it's if we could have, instead of making Nemesis, make like Insurrection 2 where they're mostly marooned on a planet the whole time and get Most Dangerous Gamed, or maybe like work Most Dangerous Game into the Insurrection whole thing. I've seen that movie 4 times. I still don't remember what it's about, but I like it every time I watch it.
Is Insurrection the one with Cromwell?
No, that's First Contact. That's
Okay.
a legit good movie.
And Cromwell also has been in multiple Star Trek episodes and the movie and stuff. He just pops up here and there all throughout. Always playing different characters.
What's his name in First Contact?
Zephram Cochrane.
Yeah, the Cochrane.
Jesus!
That's my boy.
It's an Irish ass name if I ever heard one.
Irish
Maybe that'll be one of the
ass.
next franchises we take. I've only seen a handful of the movies.
Oh no, yeah, do it.
Oh yeah. I would, it's been done to death, but I would gladly take a podcast extolling the terrible virtues of Star Trek V.
Is that the one Shatner directed, or was that the sixth?
Yes, that's the movie wherein William Shatner directs a film in which Captain Kirk fights God and wins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I will say, as a concept, I'm on board with that. That sounds great.
For years, I foolishly argued that it was a better movie than Star Trek 4. It's not.
No, 4 is the best.
To be clear. But Star Trek 5 is really fun.
More people should fight God in movies, frankly.
Agree. Like I remember, like during 2020, I became aware of the idea that what was it? Socialists want to attack and dethrone God. Was that something that Marx wrote or something? And I'm like, yes, let's do that. That sounds amazing. I don't agree with his ideology in its entirety, but I love the idea of let's attack and dethrone God.
Dethrone.
I don't know if you guys, I mean, you've probably not watched the newest Disney animated film, Wish. And I was watching
about
it with
attacking and
It
dethroning God.
is. I was like, is this movie going to be about them taking down God? Yeah, it kind of is.
Wow. Okay, so that's Wish.
That's Wish.
Yeah. I might actually give it a shot now because
right,
everything I had read about it was not particularly glowing. But as a concept, I'm on board with a bad movie if it's batshit.
Yeah. And
That is a great pitch to
yeah,
Alex Bruder.
and the God character is voiced by Chris Pine, another Kirk.
Oh my god. I saw
Like,
this red carpet picture of him from the other night. He's got this big gray beard
Yeah.
and like this pompadour mane, and it was very extreme. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Did I interrupt you, Dustin? I'm sorry. That picture is
Oh.
just deeply
No,
interesting to me.
as soon as Travis said Chris Pine, I just kind of drifted off into, a world where me and him are best friends.
Just pining for the pine.
I'm trying
that
to
man
find the picture. Here we go.
That man ever does. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I know what you're talking about. If that man ever does anything awful, I might just have to walk into the ocean.
He just directed a film, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's coming out here pretty soon.
Is it supposed to be like good? Is he like the new Bradley Cooper and Ben
No,
Affleck?
I don't think so. I think he's, from what I'm hearing, he's like the Olivia Wilde, which is ironic because he was also in her movie.
I mean, her first movie was good.
Yeah. Her and Emerald Fennell made great first movies, and then their second ones are like, ooh.
Yeah. I don't think I would have hated her second one if it hadn't devolved into nonsense in the entire third act.
Yeah, there were a number of stories about the crew not having a good time making that movie, so I chose not to watch it.
You didn't miss a whole lot. Pine and Pew are definitely the highlights of it for sure.
I believe it. They're great actors.
But yeah, it's just like, it feels like someone watched Stepford Wives for the first time, then drifted off, and then had to like kind of scramble together an ending before she pitched it.
Yeah. It does. Probably.
It's like, I don't care if movies rip off other movies as long as they make it entertaining, but it's just like, hey, what if we ripped off this really good movie, but it sucked?
Yeah. Leave Frank Oz's The Stepford Wives alone.
Yeah. Oh boy, that one.
I wanted to like that movie. I had a great cast, didn't it?
I did too, and I generally like Frank Oz. Like
Frank Oz
pretty
has
much
made
everything
really
he
good
does.
movies. Yeah.
But yeah, that one I watched it. I think too, like doing it as a comedy just didn't really work for me. Which sucks too, because like everyone that's in it I know can be funny in movies. And just like, I don't know. I think there's probably a way to do Stepford Wives as a comedy, but that one just, it wasn't it. That wasn't the way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well,
so what are we watching next week?
Next week,
right?
Alex, you want to talk about next week's
I would
film?
love to.
I've got the poster set up.
So I suggested this one. You're welcome, everybody. This is 1987's Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity.
Sold.
Tagline is big movie, big production, big girls. Already good.
Hell yeah. Love me some big girls.
Lovely and resourceful Daria and Tisa escape a space gulag, only to crash land on a nearby world where a guy in tight pants named Zed is playing the most dangerous game. Yeah. Sexy babes. Zed.
Yeah,
tight
there's
pants,
not a single thing in that synopsis that I wasn't fully on board with.
Yeah, this is a great pitch. And it's like, it's very short also. It's either, Letterboxd says 80 minutes, IMDb says 74.
Oh, wow.
So,
maybe there's different cuts or something.
Oh, we'll
yeah.
see.
It seems, here, wait, let me see where. Streaming somewhere, I do believe. Wasn't this one? Was this on Tubi and stuff? Yeah, this is on Tubi. It's on Amazon Prime. So go ahead and watch it. I don't know if I know any of the other crew that made this movie. I don't know what. I know I haven't seen other Ken Dixon movies.
No, I clicked
We'll
on
see what
his
happens.
name and he's All right, so we're gonna find out. We're at the bottom of the barrel with what we just watched, so it's nothing but up.
This is gonna at least gonna have fun. Sorry, please,
Yeah.
Dustin.
I would be genuinely shocked if we watch an adaptation that's worse than the one that we did this week.
I can't
Like,
imagine.
it is going to be hard to top that.
I think
Like-
up to this point, Mindhunters was probably the worst movie we covered.
Definitely, but that still had
Mindhunters
fun
was
things.
bad.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
like there was enough going for it that it was at least a fun watch. And I mean, his weakness is bullets. I mean, that alone was worth the hour and 40 minutes of setup to that payoff.
Oh yeah.
We also sat through the Pest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the Pest is fun.
Yeah,
Pest
but
has its
I have
moments.
nostalgia for the Pest. I love the Pest. It's got that rap song.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Oh yeah, there's definitely great parts, but on the whole, it's bad.
All right. So this movie, before we leave it did have one kind of interesting thing that I was like, oh, that's a fun little thing that I guarantee they thought was interesting. And that's right before CT has his final showdown with Casper Van Dien, and he sets the gun down on the piano, and it has to, he had to lay it on that minor key. And I'm like, oh, that's really stupid. But, you know, as far as any ideas that this movie has going for it, it was the most
It was one of
interesting.
them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The height of creativity.
That absolutely was. And I'm like, oh.
That was another thing. Like, I am extremely, you know, very pro gun and prop gun over safety on film sets. However, you can get prop guns that have, you know, things that look like bullets permanently loaded into the revolver, so that when you point the revolver at the camera, it doesn't look like it has no bullets in it. That's all. Those exist. Get the better prop. That killed me every time. Like, the gun is pointing at the camera. It's like, but there's nothing gonna happen. There's nothing in there.
They're invisible bullets.
Ooh.
You can only see them if you're truly the most dangerous game.
They're ice bullets.
Yeah.
They melt.
That would have been an
afterwards.
interesting idea.
Yeah, it's a perfect crime.
This movie doesn't have those. Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and start wrapping it up, heading out of here. Let me start this music. All right, so until we meet the slave girls from Beyond Infinity next week, Dustin, where can people find more of you?
At Dustin Meadows on Instagram, Twitter, and Blue Sky, the latter which I'm barely active on. You can also find my shorts, some of my score work, my YouTube channel, it's Dustin Meadows Comedy. But yeah, that's where pretty much everything I'm working on is these days.
Cool. And Alex, how about you?
Letterboxd.com/Alex Brunel. That's kind of it. I mean, you can do the same thing on Instagram, but like, why?
Yeah.
I'm just a civilian now.
No, yeah. You know, follow me on Letterboxd, and also I started to tag and make a list. I made a list of the shows or of the movies that we have covered on this show. Find that list, like it, follow us, and yeah. So until next week, is it stay alive and survive?